If you're wanting to avoid blowing up at your kids, this is my 3-minute solution to yelling. Hello, I'm Cassie from Custom Built Parenthood, and if you need to stop yelling at your kids, you're in the right place. I'm a mom of 3 kiddos, ages 7, 5, and 1. I was a foster mom for a few years before that, and I've definitely had plenty of experience almost losing my cool or even losing my cool with my kids, and there's kind of nothing worse than that feeling as a mom, yelling at your kids and feeling so bad that I let my emotions get the best of me. We have all been there, you're not the only one. We all have yelled at our kids, and it's just not a good place to be. So I have a really simple 3-minute solution for you with 5 steps that will walk you through exactly how to handle that when you're in that boat. If you do stick around till the end of the video, I have an extra tip for you of kind of having the right perspective on those really out of control moments that can kind of help you hopefully take it down a notch even just with this little tip. Step 1 is recognizing you're about to lose it. This is honestly probably the hardest part, to actually be self-aware enough to recognize that you are about to yell. You are about to just erupt like a volcano right before your child's eyes. Have you felt that feeling? So being really in touch with yourself and your emotions is the first step, and really the most important step, because you need to catch it before it's too late, before you actually explode. So for me, that moment usually is around dinner time. We've all been home all day, and kind of, the kids have worn me down little by little all throughout the day, so I'm not at my best necessarily. I need to get dinner on the table, and usually it looks something like this. So Miss 7 is upstairs blasting an audiobook on her CD player. Mr. 5 is usually in his room, calling down to me, asking for help with another Lego set, finding a piece, pulling something apart that's really tricky, and then Mr. 1 is down at my feet whining to be held or picked up, which, by the way, I talked all about in my last video. I'll link that here and in the description. Or, crying because he wants to help, or whatever he's kind of just whining and fussing and crying about because he's hungry. It's the end of the day. You get the idea. So basically everybody needs me, and I need to get dinner on the table. So that's usually my kind of breaking point, and when I typically feel that just, I'm about to lose it. So recognize that you're about to lose it. That's the first step. Step 2 is probably the trickiest thing I'm going to ask you to do, because before you're even addressing your emotions that you're recognizing in yourself, I'm going to ask you to be talking to your kids instead of yelling. This might feel impossible to even be approaching them in a calm voice, but this is crucial, okay? You're the adult here. You don't have the luxury of throwing a temper tantrum or freaking out. You need them to know that they can trust you, right? You're the grown-up here, you're the adult, and you want them to know that they can rely on you and count on you and trust you to keep your cool and to keep yourself under control. So all you're needing to do is just one little phrase, okay? I'm not asking you to sit and have this conversation with them. You're just giving them a statement here to let them know what's about to happen. You're gonna be telling them how you're feeling and what you need. Those are the only 2 things you're saying. So it might look something like this. So all of your kids are needing you, or some child is making you really upset, and you're just gonna look at them and in such a calm way, tell them, I'm feeling really frustrated. I need 3 minutes to get myself under control. Or I'm feeling really stressed right now. I just need a few minutes to myself, or kind of however you want to phrase it. You're just telling them what to expect and why you're doing it. Notice that this is not a discussion, and you are not asking for their permission. You're simply making that calm statement, and no matter what they say or do in response, you are going to carry on with those 3 minutes of time for yourself. You're just being courteous enough to really inform them how you're feeling and what you're about to do. So now you're ready to move on to step 3. This is how to calm down before yelling. This is really the bread and butter of how to really just flip that switch within yourself. And this is the thing that has been so life-changing for me to be able to do that. I tried so many different techniques, and this is the only thing so far that's really, really worked for me. So it is a baseball analogy, really quick. If you're not a baseball fan, please stick with me. This will only take a second, but we are going to find your walk-up song. As somebody's ready to get up to the plate and have their turn to bat, their song comes on, okay? So just imagine that. The stadium, all the eyes in the stadium are on them, okay? Your team is counting on you. All the eyes are on you. Adrenaline's pumping. You're ready to, get up there. And then your song comes on, blasting through the stadium, okay? The song that you've chosen, the song that you've picked, knowing that it's gonna help you do your very best, okay? That's what we're doing, okay? It's so powerful. So beforehand, before you're in that moment when all heck's breaking loose, you are gonna figure out that song for yourself. Something that really pumps you up, something that really motivates you, or something maybe that really is just so calming to you. It just depends on your personality, what this song is gonna be, but something that when it comes on, it takes you away from whatever's going on, and mentally you're in a different place and you're in a better place, and you can really regain control of yourself, okay? Get the right perspective and face what you're needing to face. Handle that high pressure moment where everyone's counting on you. So you find that song beforehand. So what you're gonna do, let's go back to that exact moment. You've just given that calm statement to your kids. You're gonna put your headphones on. This is very important. Headphones. And you are gonna blast that song loud enough to drown out whatever is going on, to drown out the chaos, drown out the screaming, the yelling, the whining, the crying, whatever's going on, to really detach. And in the meantime, a quick few side notes. You are staying physically present with your kids. That might sound crazy because everything tells you, at least in my experience, so many approaches tell you, lock yourself in your bedroom for a couple minutes, or walk away from the situation to kind of get yourself under control. Maybe that works for you. For me, that never worked because my kids would follow me and karate chop the door, right? Practice their martial arts, banging and going crazy against my door. That just spiked my blood pressure, made me so upset, like so much more upset. So for me, it's important to stay physically close to my kids, and that way you're not, you're there with your kids and you're showing them that you're still there to take care of them, okay? If there was a true emergency, you would be there for them. So that's what I do. I stay with my kids, but the headphones are on and you are drowning everything out. And do your best to be smiling at your child, or, kind of acknowledging them so they don't feel like you're totally ignoring them, but you can't hear what they're saying. You genuinely can't hear what they're saying. You can't kind of make out everything that's going on. You're just physically there with them, and they know that you are checked out, essentially. So now that we've learned how to calm down before yelling, we're gonna move on to how to thank our kids. Whether they liked it or not, they did give you those few minutes to yourself. So it's important to thank them, and by doing so, you're validating that was probably hard for them to feel ignored. It probably wasn't the greatest feeling, and by telling them thank you, you're validating that and showing your appreciation. It's really important, I have found, that you're physically removing the headphones. It's important for my kids to physically see my ears and to see that the headphones aren't even on my head anymore. Resist any urge, for sure, to listen to another song. You had your few minutes, that's what you're giving yourself here. You told your kids that it would be 3 minutes, or however long the song is, and you need to hold up your end of the bargain. So remove the headphones, and you're just gonna give a calm statement. You're gonna tell them something like, thank you so much for giving me a few minutes. I feel so much better now. So step 4, thank your child. Now step 5, we're gonna talk about how to meet your kids' needs. It's likely that things feel even more out of control than when you first started this whole 5-step process. The difference is you now have your emotions in check so you can handle the crisis. So first of all, we're gonna prioritize what needs the most attention. So if dinner's burning, take it off the stove or take it out of the oven. Anything who is not an actual child needing you needs to be in the background right now. So take care of those so that they're just out of the way, and then address those kiddos. If there's a baby crying on the floor needing you, Get down there and give them a big hug. Start cuddling with them. If there's an older child that's just totally falling apart, go to them and kind of ask them to tell you all about it. Okay, that's what I'll do a lot of times with my kids. Just, you look so sad, tell me all about it. Or you look really frustrated, what's going on? And just let them open up to you, let them let it all out. You're not trying to fix anything or even talk about anything, you're just letting them get it out of their system. And this will be different for every child. You know what will work best for them, but just address those needs as best as you can. Spend that time with them. Other things can wait. Just try to get everything under control so that together you can kind of pick up the pieces. Now is absolutely the time to let the people around you and their needs trump any task or to-do. Once everybody is actually under control and feeling a little more stable, it'll be way easier for you to handle actually doing those other things that are causing you stress. So my biggest tip for avoiding yelling on top of this process is to keep these moments of crisis in their place. Have the right perspective. Typically, we're running into a fight or flight feeling and response to those moments that just feel so out of control. My main tip is to remind yourself, these are not true emergencies, okay? The house is not actually on fire where you need that fight or flight response to get everybody out and safe. When your kids are so upset or everybody's fighting or screaming or yelling, that's not a true emergency. Nobody is dying, so you gotta actually mentally remind yourself to keep your mind and your emotions and your body physically in check and calm. I know it's way easier said than done, but it can be helpful to just remind yourself, even tell yourself those words. This is not a true emergency. Even just telling yourself that might already take it down a few notches, so give that a try. I can't wait for you to try this out, and I hope it's as effective for you as it is for me. Let me know in the comments if you have a strategy that works awesome. What really can flip that switch for you? What can really put you into a totally different mental place so that you can avoid yelling at your kids? I can totally learn from you and all of your great ideas as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to keep hanging out with me. Make sure to hit that little bell notification so you know about all of my upcoming videos, and we'll see you next time.